And I'm back. So it is 4:47. I might actually make it to work on time. This is very hard for me, in case you guys didn't know, my apunctual tendencies. So, I'm gonna eat this avocado. I'm not gonna try to eat it while I'm driving, because that would be way more dangerous. And I risk losing part of the avocado, which would be absolutely devastating. So, not as devastating as being in foster care though. So shout out to you if you're the victim of child predator services. Now, I actually didn't come up with that. Because as you guys know, I always spoof everything. I'm sure there are a lot of people that spoof on the same way that I do, you know. There are lots of people that refer to Twitter as shitter. I'm sure there's some genius out there that refers to Instagram as Insta spam. When I first heard Instagram, I thought, ooh, is that a weed genie? Get it? You probably don't get it. It's not that funny. You know, I know when stuff's not funny. Like, immediately when I say it, I'm like, that's not funny. Shut the fuck up. But, yeah, so the child predator services, that's a term that's been coined by many people that have lost their kids, because you don't have to do anything wrong, you know? You can just, like, discipline your kid, and you'll get a visit from a social worker, and they'll fucking snatch your kid. They're like, you know, you're not fit to raise this kid, so we're gonna put you in a home. We're gonna put your kid in a home that's even less fit to raise your kid. Don't worry, we're gonna make sure that your kid gets abused the way that we want him to get abused. I used to be against corporal punishment. Not so much now. I wish we could administer corporal punishment on everyone. I think there should, like, be a limit, you know? Like, once you turn 65, you're not allowed to be spanked anymore. But up until then, it's fair game. Well, look at the way that people are behaving. I think that there's something to be said for parents to discipline their kid, and you know, it's effective. They actually change their behavior. They know, like, hey, I fucked up. I shouldn't steal shit. Stealing shit's wrong, you know? And pain is effective. And I figured this out later in my life, you know? The more pain that you experience, the less likely you are to keep doing something stupid. But some people never experience this. And I think if you coddle a child and you just, you know, send them to timeout, I mean, they're making fun of your ass in that corner, I'll tell you that. Because that's all I did. The thing is, though, corporal punishment wasn't really effective for me because, like, you know, you guys probably figured out I don't really mind being spanked. But the thing is, if your kid is acting up all the time, it wouldn't hurt to pop them in the mouth. or pop them on the ass or whatever the fuck you gotta do. I don't think you should beat your kid. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, you don't have kids. Shut the fuck up. Well, see, that's the thing. I used to think that corporal punishment was like so fucked up, so humiliating. But looking at these trigger happy college kids, it's like, dude, they obviously didn't get their asses whooped enough. You know, if they're behaving like that. Like, there was this kid last night. Who was just fucking screaming at his parents. That kid gets away with anything he wants. And like, that's not a good way to raise your kid, because that just teaches them that like if you throw a hissy fit, you can get what you want. And the thing is, I don't know if y'all watched this other video of mine where I was talking about this grown-ass adult who threw a hissy fit in the restaurant. Like, she just started screaming and demanding to be waited on. And she totally exaggerated the amount of time that she'd been in the restaurant. She said that she'd been there for 30 minutes. That bitch had not been there no 30 minutes. She'd been there for maybe like 15 minutes. They always do this shit. They always do this shit where they exaggerate the amount of time to make it seem like they're somebody's fucking victim. You know? It's fucking pathetic. You know, I just wish that we could send these people straight to third world countries and then, you know, just give them like a week, possibly 2 weeks, you know, to spend in like Iran or Pakistan, you know, preferably like a Middle Eastern country. Maybe we could send them to Venezuela, you know, so then they could understand, like, hey, I live in a capitalist country where I have choices, and if I don't like this choice that I make, I can make another one. If I think that I'm being mistreated, I could just go somewhere else. And I probably think that I'm mistreated everywhere I go because I'm one of those people who thinks it's all about me, right? Well, that bitch was a clear example of somebody whose ass wasn't whooped enough, you know? Like, she thinks it's totally acceptable to just start screaming at people to get what she wants. She made other people in the restaurant uncomfortable. I mean, she was like mad because other people got waited on before her. But that's what happens with servers. Like, I'm not even a server, and like, I know this because I work with a bunch of servers. I work at a restaurant, and this is what happens. Servers are in a particular section, and those servers take care of the people in their section, and sometimes they pick up other tables. But if you're not in that section, and all those people got there before those other people, and you wait on people in your section, like, that's not the fault of the server. And what's funny about it is the server even went to the table and got their drinks. He just didn't take their order in a timely fashion because we were fucking swamped. Like, this was like during the peak hour on Friday. It was a Friday night, so we were slammed, and this bitch wanted to get waited on right away. And she just made this big ass scene for no goddamn reason. Well, I guess the reason was that she's a selfish cunt, and she thinks that it's totally fine to act like that. I'm like, there's no reason for that shit. That's just totally ridiculous, you know? I'm gonna make a scene to get what I want. I'm gonna fucking scream at people. And the thing is, my manager, he refused to comp her meal. But he still went over there and was like really nice. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you do that, man. See, I love working with black people though, man. Black people are the shit. Would somebody get this bitch? Yeah, this bitch is hollering. She won't shut up. Will somebody take care of this bitch? But the thing is, when I say, like, you have to act black to work there, like, nobody wanted to deal with her. No server wanted to deal with her. they weren't going to put up with it. Because everybody wanted to cuss her ass out. Now, my manager, Keon, he ain't watching, but shout out to him anyway. Love you, baby. He's got a crush on me. I have a crush on him, too. But he's my manager, so that shit won't work out. He just killed him with kindness. He was like, what can they do? That's not how he talks, by the way. I'm usually like the typical, stereotypical black voice. I'm sorry, y'all. If you're black and you're watching this, I don't think that you're all the same. But he's very effeminate. He's very effeminate, and yet he's one of the most masculine people I've ever met. Like, when I first met him, I thought he was gay because I'm ignorant and stupid. But the thing is, black people are just way more comfortable with themselves. And so, like, I worked with this guy at Wendy's that was a lot like that as well. But he was on the football team, and he was so masculine. Even though he was really effeminate, and people got this, like, gay vibe off of him. It's just black people are more comfortable with themselves, and so they don't give a fuck if people call them a faggot, you know? Because they know that they're not a faggot. It's always white people making the scene. Like, it really is. And if black people or Latinos or like any other person in a marginalized group is making a scene, it's because they hang out with way too many white people. And they think that that's an acceptable way to behave. And it ain't. Oh my god, it's 4:59. I showed up a minute early. You're still gonna be late too, I know you are, because you're still gonna just keep on talking. I don't want to go in yet, because this is really intense rain, man. Y'all hear it? No, but the reason that Keon ended up talking this bitch down is because he was like, you know, she's just going to keep on yelling. She's going to keep making a scene if I don't go over there and talk to her. You know, so, and she was drunk too. That's another thing. He's like, what can they do if you kill them with kindness? And I was thinking about that. I was like, you know, you're probably right about that. But I just don't have the emotional maturity to be able to do something like that. Kill them with kindness. Isn't that funny? You wish, right? You wish that you could kill people just by being really, really nice to them. I wish that worked. But like, when he did that, it really made sense out of the phrase. Because it was like, yeah, like what can you do when somebody's like really nice to you? Like, even if they're totally full of shit and they're just like fake as fuck. I mean, they can't get mad, right? They can't get mad when you're being nice to them. Because if they get mad, then they look like a fucking prick. So you're like, wow, this person was really fucking sweet, even though I'm the one that was being the dick. Now, of course, they'll never develop the self-awareness to figure this out. We all have faith in that, right? I have faith that people are really stupid, and they're not going to get any less stupid. And I get really sick of this optimism. And I've noticed that people that work in restaurants, especially people that work where I work, they just have this like really negative attitude about, you know, society. And I talk to people that are like in management positions, like my manager at the coffee shop. He's only 24, and he was telling me, he was like, yeah, I really hate people now. I used to think that I liked people, but I don't like people anymore. And I was like, join the club, man. Like, if you work with people long enough, especially in the restaurant industry, like, you understand, like, why stone cold cynics are the way that we are. Because you can't fix a lot of these people. And not to go back into politics, but I think like a lot of times the kind of people that want to save the planet are the kind of people that want to like save themselves. And the only true salvation is through God. Now, you don't have to believe in a specific concept of God, but I think that it's really important that people understand that, like, sometimes it's not up to them to like figure it out, like in the sense that like, oh, you fix it. Like, I think that you're a lot happier when you're okay being a little screwed up, you know. As long as you don't play the victim or make other people your victim, but I think that that's really, really hard, you know. And I think that if you truly believe in God, which anybody that just uses God as this, I think they use it as like a get out of jail free card, you know, because then they can say that they're a God person, but they're really not. Because if they're really a God person, not only would they be humble about it, but they would also, you know, accept when they're wrong and like try to do something to change. And if they hurt somebody, they would go out of their way to like try to make it right, you know. And that's the issue that I had with a lot of people in recovery, was that like they didn't act like they were about recovery. They acted like they wanted to pretend that they were, and it was part of their image, it was part of their identity. But, you know, when push come to shove, you know, all those principles and all those sayings and the mantras and all this shit, like that would go out the window whenever they'd get mad or whenever they'd get their little feelings hurt. Something I heard in AA a long time ago: if people are stepping on my toes, where the fuck am I putting my feet? You know, and I think that that's very true. Like, people, they place themselves in a position to be hurt, and then they get hurt. You know, because that's what happens, and that's society, and that's human nature, and that's the motherfucking world. And if you don't accept that, you're just trying to change the world. First of all, that's not going to happen. You're not going to change shit. Second, you're just going to be more and more miserable every passing day. You're not going to actually effectively impact anybody. If anybody acts like that, it's just like, oh, you helped me when you said this or something. Like, I mean, they might just be telling you that to shut you up. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, I'm really not. But I do know that I positively impact people. People tell me that, and they're like, you know, I changed my mind on something, or, you know, I feel differently about this than I used to, and that's because you educated me on this subject matter. It's usually mental illness. But, so, I read something, and it made me upset, in like the best possible way that I could be upset. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. That's from Psalm 91. It's one of my favorite Psalms. Now, I'm sure I sound like one of those crazy-ass Christians. But, like, I read this shit every day, and sometimes it brings me to tears because, like, I see it as a love note to me. And y'all might think that's ridiculous and a little arrogant, but I mean, it's a love note to everybody. God loves everybody. Like, we're all God's kids, you know? Even the shitheads. Even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's still God's child, you know? If she would only acknowledge him. But she'd probably think that shit's sexist. Like, I meet feminists that are like, I'm not gonna worship a male god. Okay. They're so cool worshiping a female god who gets offended by everything. Anyway, I need to go inside. It says 5:06. Same. I was gonna do this shit. This is another new notebook. I have this really horrible habit of like never finishing what I start. So I have like all these notebooks, and a lot of them have like blank pages. I just want to show you guys this because this is really cool. Look at that. Look at that, you guys. Isn't that awesome? Just to show you, this is what I did. This is like Super Mario fabric. You can slide it up and down. It was actually really smart with the electrical tape. I was going to do the whole thing, but I was like, that's not going to work, Amy. But I'm probably going to do it with all of the seat belts just to make it consistent, even though I don't really have passengers in the back. Sometimes I have passengers up here. I'm lucky if I have, you know, friends that want to ride in the car with me because I'm a really crazy driver. I'm much better like with other people though, because like don't kill them. You know, so I'm much more mindful. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of this though, because it took hard work and discipline and a lot of electrical tape and fat quarters from the Walmart that were made at a sweatshop. But, you know, this way, every time that I drive, I can be closer to a Chinese boy. So, you know, at least I'm thinking about them. It really bothers me when people shop at Walmart. They shop anywhere, really. It's not just Walmart. It's like all of them. Unless it's like a mom and pop shop, and even then, they probably get their stuff from China. Like, even if it's like a t-shirt that they make, like oh, they design it. Like a lot of these independent companies, they use shirts that are made in China and Bangladesh and I'm trying to think of the other third world countries, but it's usually China. As long as you know, as long as you're not ignorant about where your shit comes from and how lucky you are to have it. I mean, yeah, it sucks. It sucks that our capitalist country benefits from a communist country. Like, I would say that's fucked up. And, you know, that would be really cool if we would stop trading with China. Like, period. Especially considering the fact that most of our carbon emissions come from China. They'll never talk about that. They just want to blame the United States for everything. But China and India. But anyway, I think that as long as you appreciate the stuff that you have, which I mean, a lot of Americans don't. I mean, trust me, I wish that we could deport a lot of people that live here. I mean, I wish we could do like a trade-off, you know, like for some humble immigrant that is either seeking asylum or they just want to take care of their family and they're going to work really hard. As long as they don't get free government shit, I would say they can come in here and they can live in this prosperous country because they'll actually fucking appreciate it, you know? That's my solution. I think that's a pretty good solution. Let's do a tradesies. So we trade off humble immigrants. We let them come into the country. They just don't get shit from the government. And then we send back to Mexico and Venezuela and China and the Middle East all the feminists. Dude, women don't appreciate anything. They definitely don't appreciate the right to vote. All they do is like fucking whine. I mean, they voted, right? They voted. We all know who they voted for. I'm with her. Nevertheless, she persisted. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She wrote a memoir. She wanted power so motherfucking bad. I have a joke. I haven't done it yet. Where I'm talking about how, you know, there's irrefutable proof that God exists. For it was God's divine hand that smacked Hillary Clinton upside the head Bitch. That's enough power for you. Did y'all not hear him say that? Wow, I must really be chosen. So, is that a good joke? Tell me. Tell me if that's a good joke. I think that my God jokes work because, like I said before, people think I'm doing satire. So it's like the utter ridiculousness of it that makes people laugh. So my entire existence is just utter ridiculousness. Everywhere I go, people laugh because I'm just so silly and stupid sometimes. I'm silly all the time. I'm stupid some of the time. But I'm willing to admit it. I have a lot of self-awareness. Having a lot of self-awareness drives you bonkers, but at least you're, better off than the majority of the planet. What is that on my lip? Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm gonna go inside. It's 5:13. So I'm here at my usual time. But the rain has died down a little bit, so I'm gonna wear my Don't Tread on Me hat. Fuck yes. See that snake? Do not fuck with me. Anyway, I'm gonna go inside. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. I love you. Like, I really do. Because I appreciate you. For whatever reason you're on here, somebody asked me, when are you going to do another poop video? I couldn't respond. YouTube wouldn't let me respond. Whenever the shit falls out of my ass. Well, I shouldn't say that because I don't actually know. Because for those of you that don't know this already, I've shot videos where I'm taking a dump. This really isn't, for the people in the vortex that have an obvious poop fetish. You're weirdos. I did date a guy that was like you, though, but that's just because I'm open-minded. But the thing is, I mean, I don't do that to please those people. I just do it because fuck society. It's my fuck you to society. But whenever I feel like it, I'll do that. I mean, it's the same answer for, people that ask me, when are you gonna bring the keyboard? Whenever I do comedy. Whenever I feel like it. Don't expect shit from me. I do what I want to do, and I don't do what I don't want to do. I saw a red hat, and I thought it was my MAGA hat. I got freaked out. I was like, somebody's gonna steal that and burn it! They really will. Maybe not in the South. I have faith that Antifa won't come to the South because they know they'll get shot. Like, they're safe in, blue states. They're safe in, Portland and Seattle where they got, the Democratic government protecting their ass. But they would not be safe here. They would not be safe in here. They would not be safe in Texas. Really, Antifa, just don't come to Tennessee or Texas, okay? And you won't get shot. Because we don't play in the South. Bye.